Hello and welcome to News Today. I am Kimini Nyamani Amano. Coming up, Public Accounts Committee of Parliament adopts innovative means to ensure public institutions are accountable to Also to come, International Criminal Court tells Kenya's Deputy President he must attend most of his trial on charges of crimes against humanity. Let's get into our details now. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament would soon summon institutions that have been cited for misappropriating public funds to reappear before the committee at a special sitting to provide feedback on actions taken on its recommendations. Chairman of PAC, Menu, says the move is aimed at ensuring the public institutions and office holders who are made accountable to the state. Joining us over the telephone is Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Menu. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
You say you intend to adopt innovative means. What exactly is this?
Yeah, something I want to do that has never happened before. That is why I use the word innovative. You see, there's this general perception about PAC recommendations not being implemented, and it's like taxes and whatever happens at the end of it.
Right.
So we want the general public to begin to realize that when we finish our work, the implementation portion of it should not be done by PAC or even Parliament. It is supposed to be done by what we call audit report implementation committees. Again, they are composed and set up in the various agencies. So now what we want to try to do is that after our report goes through Parliament, we will give notices as to what actions which particular agencies should take to them, and then we'll leave about a month or two, and we'll call them back and ask specific questions about what specific recommendations, what they have done about the recommendations that are passed through Parliament. And I believe if we begin to do that in the full glare of the television cameras, then the public will begin to realize that at least something gets done, only that it doesn't come into a public domain. So we want to put what actions are taken in the public domain, and those who do not take action, then we'll know what new things that we'll do with them. That is the new dimension we want to take Public Accounts Committee way.
And how soon would we see this new or innovative means being?
This year has not been a very smooth year for us. We started sitting a bit late because we needed the first half of the year to do a lot of induction for new members and some education pen for those of us who were there even already. And we started sitting not long ago. As we speak, we haven't pushed through a single report yet through Parliament. So now, if I do my estimation, probably in November, Parliament resumes, 29th October, we will see our first 2, 3 or so reports through by November. Then we'll leave about 2 months to see the implementation process. And then we'll do a quick check and call back some of these institutions to actually do what we call the recall hearing. And I believe it will take about 3 more months minimum from now to be able to get to that particular event.
Thank you very much, Kweku.
You are welcome.
Kweku Menu is Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. A Customary Land Secretariat has been inaugurated at English Yalata and the Greater Accra region to put to rest all land tenure difficulties in the jurisdiction. It forms part of the land administration project which seeks to address issues of boundaries and land demarcation of traditional areas, the main cause of conflicts among traditional authorities.
Land acquisition over the years has been fraught with many challenges, including multiple sales of land and land title registrations. The issue of land guards have also seen many lives and properties lost in disputes over land. The establishment of the Customary Land Secretariat in traditional areas is, however, expected to largely resolve such conflicts. It is also to help alleviate poverty and improve land records and structures of land administration at the local level.
It is in fact going to reduce the double sale of lands. This issue of land guards is also going to reduce, because in the package is what we call customary boundary demarcation, where we will come and if they want it, if they demand it, they will cut their boundaries, what we call the survey line, and we, together with the SMD, the Survey and Mapping Division of the Lands Commission, will demarcate their boundaries for them. So if English says this is my boundary, then that is the boundary of English. We would have helped them to do it. So the issue of conflicts in terms of boundaries, we're hoping will also come to an end.
The Secretariat will also supply data to the Customary Lands Administration and enhance revenue mobilization for the traditional areas and district assemblies, and also serve as a link to all the other land sector agencies. For the traditional leaders of English Yalata, the establishment of the Customary Land Secretariat represents a milestone in resolution of land disputes in the area.
We shall do all that we can to enable smooth administration and to further bridge the way for customary boundary demarcation between divisional communities of my traditional area on one part and the other conflicting boundaries between us and other traditional area within the central and eastern regions that share common boundary with us.
The Customary Land Secretariat at Inleshi Alata traditional area is the fifth to be set up by the Land Administration Project in the Greater Accra region. 4 more are expected to be established by the end of 2016.
Now, according to the latest Ghana Living Standard Survey Labour Force report, only about 1.9% of the economically active population is unemployed. The report says 75.7% of persons who are 15 years and above are economically active. The unemployment rate among 15 years and above is, however, higher in urban areas, about 3.6% more than that of the rural areas. Over the telephone now is from Kumasi's coordinator of the survey and chief statistician at the Ghana Statistical Service, Anthony Amuzu. Hello, Anthony.
Yes.
Many thanks for your time. And if these are the statistics, then we don't have problems when it comes to employment in the country, do we?
No, I don't think we do.
Right. So help us understand the statistics in reconciling it to the fact that over time we've been told that, look, we have unemployment issues in our country.
In terms of unemployment?
Yes.
There are several operational definitions that we use. And our operational definitions are in line with the ILO definitions for unemployment and others. So it depends on how whoever is conducting the survey looks at it.
Let's look at your survey. Just elaborate a bit on that.
The Ghana Living Standard Survey is a nationally representative survey that is conducted by the Statistical Service every 5 years. And that looks at the well-being of the population.
Right.
So we collect a lot of information. And for each survey, we have a module. And this particular one, the module that we added was the labor force module. So the report that we presented the other time was on the labor force module. And there will be a final report. Usually this survey is conducted over a 12-month period. But because the sample is very large, we divide it into 10 what we call cycles. So the interviewers would go interview people for a period of 35 days, then move to another area, interview for 35 days. So what we released was for the first 3 cycles, which spanned the period 18th October 2012 to 6th of February 2013. Then the second part, which is the 4th to 6th cycle, was from the 8th of February to 26th of May 2013.
Right.
So these are just modules that are looking at particular households within those periods of time. But eventually, we're going to have a full report that will cover the entire period of work.
Help us figure out the essence of the survey.
No, the essence, now this is what, it's a flagship survey.
Right.
It has a lot of indicators. For example, the housing characteristics, education, their health situations, their asset ownership, financial status, and others. A lot, remittances and all that. It's a lot of information, wealth of information out there. Then, of course, we use the information of the Consumer Price Index, and then we also use it to drive.
Hello, Anthony. Anthony, you're breaking away.
Hello?
Right. We didn't get the last bit of what you said. You were breaking away.
We also use it to measure or we're going to come up with a document with trends in Ghana. We did one during the 2005-2006 reporting.
Right. Anthony, with the jobless rate from the survey is also higher among females. In fact, it's 3.8%, more than that of the males. What does this say?
I mean, the unemployment.
Yes.
Yes, within urban areas, certainly that is the situation. If you compare the statistics with the rural, you realize that in the rural...
The line drops there, but you're watching News Today. I'll be right back. You're watching Joy News, and this is News Today. The over 200 municipal and district assemblies and state agencies and departments in the country are expected to be signed onto the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System by June 1, 2014. The system ultimately aims to interlink all units that draw on government revenue to ensure a more efficient monitoring and control of the public purse. GIFMIS is at the heart of a 4-year project aimed at reforming public financial management in Ghana.
The Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System is an integrated computerized financial management system used in budget preparation, cash and asset management and accounting. It is part of the e-Ghana project, initiated by government to generate growth and employment by leveraging on ICT. The head offices of all the ministries, departments and agencies currently process their transaction through GIFMIS, with just about 7 of the municipal and district assemblies signed on a pilot basis. The plan, however, is to have all of them integrated. At a workshop to explain the system to the media, officials said it would drastically minimize financial malfeasance and unauthorized expenditure in the public sector.
The beauty of this system is the fact that if your procurement has not originally been budgeted and put on the system, you can't be in your MDA and commit government by way of, I have procured this and now I need money to pay. Like currently, because the people can commit government, at the end of the year you hear of so much bills with MDAs which government now have to find money to pay. Now this system will not allow you. If the expenditure was not previously budgeted for and budget release has not been made, then you cannot commit government. So immediately it eliminates all these kind of commitments which have been made by MDA for which these payments are loaded on government to pay as arrears and other things.
With the system and the upgrade you mentioned, we're going to exercise strict control so that if you're head of department and your budget for your staff is so much and you realize that the budget is running out, then even if not even waiting the budget is running out, you want to take strict interest in who are on your payroll and flashing out those on your payroll that shouldn't be there.
The system also seeks to address the shortfalls in the inadequacy in budget controls, poor record keeping on public financial transactions, and the delays in financial reporting in the public sector. The benefits of the system, the officials explained, are immense and urge state agencies to embrace it.
Ghana is less than 3 years away from pouring crude from its second major field. The tallow oil announced production from the Cheneboa, Enyira and Ntom field, also known as TAN, will begin in June 2016. Speaking at Facts Behind the Figures session at the Ghana Stock Exchange, officials also confirmed the floating production, storage and offloading vessel to be used in the field should arrive in the country sometime next year.
Tullow Oil has seen a strengthening of its balance sheet after its success in the Jubilee field in 2007. The Jubilee field, which contributes 50% of the company's cash flow, has for the first half of this year alone grossed in excess of $1 billion for the company, with the figure expected to double by close of the year. Officials explained the company is seeking to increase the capacity of the Kwame Nkrumah FPSO in the Jubilee field from the current 110,000 barrels a day to over 150,000.
There's a lot of optimisation going on at the moment. There's the remaining Phase 1A wells, which will be completed as needed. And we've recently drilled an additional gas injection well to handle gas. We're also looking at future expansion and the potential for the field. We're looking at the full field development plan, which is being discussed with the government. And we're looking at options to increase the FPSO. Those are under review, increase capacity of the FPSO, which are under review at the moment. But as I said, it's a fantastic asset for Tullow, and producing 110,000 barrels of oil per day is a massive contributor to Tullow's cash flow.
He later told Joy News the 10 projects should add another 80,000 of barrels of crude oil a day to the production in the Jubilee field. Some $5 billion, according to him, has already been invested.
So you've got an FPSO which will need to be put into the field. You've got the wells that need to be drilled, so you need rigs for that. You've got all of the subsea equipment, and you need people to provide all of that equipment. So we're in the process at the moment of awarding all of those contracts. A large proportion of those contracts have already been awarded. And as you said, the FPSO contract has gone to MODEC. They have a tanker which is going to be converted, which has arrived literally a few days ago in the Singapore yard, and that conversion will start very, very soon. I don't know how long before it comes on stream, but let's say 6 months plus before it comes on stream, it will come to Ghana and be put in place, and it will be hooked up to all of the production facilities.
The general manager of Tullow Ghana said the company is keen on optimizing the use of local resources.
It's always a good thing to localize as much as possible, because the resource is right there with you. So we have looking at it from two fronts: localizing in the capacity side, on the management and staff side, as well as localizing in the context of the resources that we use and the services that we procure. So we're working to make sure that these things happen in the time that we're working. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the staffing side, you find that we are significantly very much a Ghanaian company, with the number of Ghanaians in the company, and it's growing. And we have a plan. We're working with our regulators to make sure that as many Ghanaians as possible who have the capacity are used in the business.
Tullow Oil PLC says it has so far invested $669 million into various sectors of the economy.
Government has given the assurance that it will not sanction the use of genetically modified grains if it has the capacity to disadvantage the local farmers. Groups opposed to the promotion, growth and consumption of genetically modified grains are unhappy. Government appears to be buying into GM crops without considering consequences for farmers. However, Deputy Agric Minister Dr. Ahmed Al-Hassan is of a view the fears of anti-GM campaigners are misplaced. Meanwhile, Food Sovereignty Ghana is strongly opposing the UPOV 91 compliant plant breeders bill currently before Ghana's parliament. The breed is a legal convention, international convention for the protection of new varieties of plants that protects plant breeders when they create new varieties of plants. It does not protect the plants. It protects IPR, intellectual property rights for the breeders. International agri-business corporations want countries to pass the UPOV 91 compliant laws because it means huge profits for those companies. Now, joining me in the studio is Yao Opoku. He's member and legal representative. You're a member of Food Sovereignty Ghana, and grateful for your time.
Thank you, madam.
Let's start with the first issue, the fact that government is given the assurance that really we won't sanction any GM crop if it's going to be to the detriment of our local farmers. Does that lay to rest your concerns?
No, it does not. And we feel very sorry extremely very sorry that the government should sanction the GMO food crops for a number of reasons. First of all, let me say that they are sanctioning cowpeas. And Ghanaians know that most workers would eat Ghanaian beans. Or most people will eat wache. The beans is in wache, or the Ghanaian beans is what we call the cowpea. And it's a major food item in Ghana. Now, what they are not telling Ghanaians is the fact that the GMO cowpea is not only the beans. It is the beans plus the genes of an insect plus some insecticide or pesticides that they have been able to produce in the laboratory condition and fed into the plant in a way that any pest that will settle on or try to eat the plant would automatically die. So when you eat the GMO beans, you are not just eating beans. You are not eating just the cowpeas for wache or the cowpeas for rice. And we are saying that the effect on human beings have not been assessed. And let me land here.
Right.
On 8th October 2013 at 7:25 p.m., BBC carried an interview of a farmer in Burkina Faso. And the farmer disclosed that for BT cotton, he had 100 cattle. The 100 cattle that fed on the leftover of the plants, 90 of them died, leaving 10. That is BBC's report. And we are saying that in the similar vein, when you are introducing GMO cowpeas particularly, given its importance in the dietary nature of Ghanaians, the diet of Ghanaians, and the risk assessment has not been made as to its effect on the human beings, we have cause to worry.
How different is, spraying your farm with insecticide from having the insecticide in the genetically engineered food crop?
Precisely. You see, when you spray your crops, the pesticide or whatever kills the pests that are disturbing the plant. But it does not affect the seed of rice, for example, or the cowpea itself. But in the GMO foods, they have, using biotechnology, implanted the pesticide in the seed, and they have put in it also the genes of the insect into the seed. So when you are eating GMO foods, you are not just eating the beans, you are eating the beans, you are eating the genes of a particular insect that has been put in the beans, and you are eating also whatever pesticide or whatever that has been put in the beans.
Now government is saying that all of that won't happen if it feels that it would affect local farmers. Shouldn't that just bring to... shouldn't just that solve the problem, the concerns you raise?
No, it does not. Because one, as I've explained to you, it does not solve the health and safety and the risk assessment of to the person.
Doesn't it mean that we won't be having GMOs?
You see, what put that one aside. Let me also let you know that the GMO foods, the seeds, when a farmer plants a GMO fruit seed, he cannot use the same seed and plant it the following year as we do.
Of course.
He would always have to buy the GMO seed to plant the following year. So it means that every year we will have to import the seed, assuming it's cowpeas. We always have to import. And mind you, given our foreign exchange situation, how often can we always import seeds? We have to import them because they are patented. And I will have here, you know, what is being done in Ghana is being sponsored by Arcadia.
I see.
And Arcadia helps in this GMO foods purposely to commercialize it.
Which is why you against the UPOV 91 in Parliament as well.
Yes. But let me go further and say that, you see, in our daily graphic of Monday, October 14, 2013, there was a story of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture based in Ibadan, which has also come out with new varieties of cowpeas, which it is disseminating in the northern belt with the help of SARI. What I worry is that if we are doing this with hybrid cowpeas for our farmers, why on earth should we move now to go to Monsanto or these foreign seed producers and rely on them and always have to import them when we have IITA together with CSIR producing cowpeas that are ecologically applicable in our area? How should we do that, given our foreign exchange constraints?
Let's move to the other issue where you're also against the International Convention for the Protection of New Varieties of Plants, mainly because it's more or less patent. It brings the issue down to patency. Why should we be worried about that?
You see, our worry is that given our country's economic situation now, when plant breeders patent their produce, like we have for the cowpea, it means that if you want to use it, you have to go and buy the patent, or each time you have to buy the seeds from them, right, before you can produce them in the country. You see, that is worrisome for us.
Right.
And, you know, we must also add that for some of the major crops, what it means is that we are going to be dependent on these foreign multinationals. When we have if we were not to have alternatives, like what we get from IITA, or if we were not to have alternatives as we get from Crop Research Institute, that's a different matter. But here in the daily graphic, it was even shown on Saturday 12 o'clock news that the effort IITA is doing to popularize cowpea. So when we have all these alternatives, why should we then decide to depend on Monsanto GMO crops when we are not even sure of its health implications to Ghanaians?
Right. Now, this bill is in Parliament. On the other hand, government is also given the assurance that if it would affect our local farmers, we won't pass it, or we won't see it won't see the light of day. What now? What will food sovereignty do now?
You see, we are bringing it up as to the difficulties of passing. If you pass the UPOV 91, what it means is that for whatever is produced by the plant breeders, they're going to patent it. And when they patent it, they're going to commercialize it. And I've indicated, I'm giving you a copy of Arcadia.
Right.
That is sponsoring the pride breeders in CSIR. And you notice that it's for commercial purposes. Now, you see, our worry and what we feel sad about is that Parliament has passed a number of bills that does not take into cognizance the effect it has on the country. I'll just give you one example. Take the Minerals and Mining Law 703, Act 703 of 2006. If you read section 109, you'll find that it is stated that when a mining company commits an offense in Ghana and is taken to court and it is found guilty, convicted, and asked to pay a fine, that fine should be considered as a debt owed to Ghana, which Ghana government would have to find means of taking that money back. Look at section 109. And I ask myself, parliamentarians, if they are alive to their responsibility, why would they put in the Minerals and Mining Law a section that if a mining company commits an offense,
do we know
these are the problems we have. So we would not be surprised if Parliament, in spite of all the harm the UPOV would have on the economy of this country, will pass it. We will not be surprised because they have passed other laws that are not in the interest of Ghana. So
thank
we
you,
will
thank
not
you
be
very
surprised,
much.
but we will definitely then make our point about it, that UPOV 91 is not in the best interest of the country. We will say it. When they go ahead and pass it, fine.
We'll leave it here, Yao. Yao Poku is a member of Food Sovereignty Ghana. We've been talking genetically engineered food crops. You're watching News Today. Rashida Baba Kadiri brings us some sports.
Sports on today's News Today is proudly sponsored by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo. Now, there's something that is really interesting because we are going to experience the World Cup here in Ghana even before it kicks off in Brazil in June of next year. This is because the trophy for next year's World Cup is coming down to Ghana. But I'll need to whet your appetite a little bit because we'll give you the full details in our subsequent bulletin. Away from that, I'm sure by now you've been hearing a certain name, Top Mola, running across the world of football, or in Ghana especially, because it's been rumored that this man is being courted by the Ghana Football Association to become technical director of the senior national team, the Black Stars. Now, a lot of controversy is brewing, with some people saying, yes, the Black Stars technical setup needs some beefing up, and others are also of the view that no, Coach Kwesi Appiah is okay, he is able, or he's capable to manage his own affairs. But we've been sampling a lot of opinions. The latest person we've been speaking to is A sports journalist Christopher Opoku, and he tells us why he thinks that Kwesi Appiah should be left alone to do his work without any technical director ahead of next year's World Cup in Brazil.
Enough, and I don't think that it is necessary to bring in a technical director. I'm not sure what informed the decision to get third-party individuals to speak to Klaus Toffmann in the first place, and that's what we uncovered. I mean, if the GFA have come out to deny it, I think it's great news. It means they are not going to do it, and if they're not going to do it, it means Kwesi Appiah will be allowed to progress as he has done. The Kwesi Appiah that was employed in April 2012 is not the same Kwesi Appiah today. This is a man that has grown into the job. He has progressed. He's shown he's a fast learner, made mistakes in South Africa during the Cup of Nations. He has learned from them, made mistakes when we lost 0-1 to Zambia. I mean, apart from the altitude problems the boys suffered, he opened up and lost the match. But he's played compact football since then and has resulted in 2 away victories against Sudan and Lesotho. He has brought a level of competitiveness to the squad we have not seen under most coaches who tend to over-rely on players. He has not over-relied on anybody. He has shown excellent man management skills, and it has resulted in a return to the national team of the likes of Asamoah, first of all, who had gone out of the team. He's come back and he's flourishing. He's using him behind the main striker instead of being the main striker himself. And the end result is that Asamoah has scored 6 times in the qualifying series. He's unearthed Abdul Majid Waris, who scored 3 times himself, and is forming a lethal partnership with Asamoah, which is absolutely brilliant. He has deepened the depth of the squad, so much so that with the return of Suleiman Tari, Michael Essien, and the rest of them, there is real competition for places. Not in the starting 11 mind, but in the squad itself.
And the arguments will rage on. The reasons why we don't or we do need a technical director as the Black Stars get ready for their final qualifier to next year's World Cup. And it's at the World Cup that the Ghana Football Association would want to do everything possible to ensure that Ghana goes beyond every other World Cup competition that we've gone to. So it means that our last World Cup we were quarter-finalists, and which means if we want an improvement over that, then it means we should get into the semi-finals and get placement. So let's see how this issue develops. Away from that, there's football in action in Ghana. Talking about the Ghana Premier League, 8 matches for this weekend. Let's check out the fixtures coming up shortly on your screens. So week 9 of the Premier League sees us with these fixtures. Amidas Professionals hosting Dwarfs at the Tema Park. Bichim United will welcome Hazakis to the Jabwa Park in Bichim. Brekum Chelsea are hosting Inter Allies at the Golden City Park. Kotoko travel to Kwando to play Hearts of Lions. Edubiasi would also be away to Liberty at the Accra Sports Stadium. Ash Gold, they host Accra Hearts of Folk at the Obuasi Lenclair Stadium. Certainly a cracker for the weekend. King Faisal, they are at home to Gianna Stars at the Bavaria Stadium. Mediama SC welcome Wa All Stars to the TNA Park in Takwa. You want to call that the Takwa and Aboso Park in the Western region. Away from that, let's focus on Europe and check out the fixtures coming up. First of all, let's go to England and see what is coming up in the English Premier League. Crystal Palace are at home to Arsenal. Aston Villa at the Villa Park. They welcome Everton. Liverpool, they host West Bromwich Albion at Anfield. Manchester United taking on Stoke City at the Old Trafford. This particular match is a match of interest because it will be live on the Joy Sports channel on your multi-TV tomorrow. So do make a date with the team at 2 p.m. as we do a pre-match discussion to this match, which will kick off at 2:30 or 3 p.m. So do make a date. Manchester United versus Stoke City live on the Joy Sports channel on your multi-TV. Norwich City are hosting Cardiff City. Fulham, they go to Southampton. Newcastle also travel to Sunderland. Manchester City go to the Stamford Bridge to meet Chelsea. Certainly a very big one for the weekend. Swansea City welcome West Ham United, and Tottenham Hotspur, they will welcome Hull City. Away from England, let's take a quick trip to Spain, where my biggest interest for the weekend will be because it is the El Clasico. Barcelona, they host their fiercest rival in Spanish league, that is Real Madrid at the Camp Nou. But that will not be the only match to expect. There are other fixtures. Rayo Vallecano up against Real Valladolid. There's Malaga up against Celta Vigo. Barcelona, like I said, they are at home to Real Madrid. Elche up against Granada. Levante, they take on Espanyol. Sevilla are at home to Osasuna. Villarreal, they take on Valencia. Almeria, they will travel to Real Sociedad. Real Betis, they go away to Atletico Madrid. Getafe will be at home to Atletico Bilbao. To the Italian Serie A, we check out the fixtures to expect for this weekend. And Sampdoria welcome Atlanta. Internazionale or Inter Milan, they host Hellas Verona. Napoli welcome Torino. Livorno travel to Bologna. Sassuolo travel to Catania. Chievo Verona are at home to Fiorentina. Juventus up against Genoa. Parma, they welcome AC Milan. Udinese versus Roma. This is certainly a very big one for the weekend because Roma would want to consolidate their lead at the top of the table, of the Serie A table. Udinese are struggling a little bit and they would like to see themselves up on the table from where they currently lie. That's on the 10th position. Lazio, they will take on Cagliari. All right, also expect fixtures in the German Bundesliga. We'll bring you all of that in our subsequent bulletins. But that will do it for Sports on News Today. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Sports is made possible by the kind courtesy of Tigo. Smile.
Welcome back. Now, President Mahama has cut sword for the construction of the first 50 community senior high schools as part of the NDC campaign promise during the 2012 campaign. The NDC during that campaign promised to construct 200 of such senior high schools to increase student enrollment. The ceremony took place at Odupon, Ofanko in the central region. Joy News' Gifty Ando Apia is with the president. She's joining us over the telephone with some updates. Hello, Gifty. What more can you tell us?
Let me just make a very quick correction. We're told that it is not a groundbreaking ceremony as it is. It's an inspection, sort of, by President Mahama to ensure that the lands allocated to build this school is appropriate. And he's also here to interact with the leadership of the area, the leadership which has provided this land to the people. One more I can say is that this exercise will be replicated all across Ghana, where lands have been allocated for this 50 school project. It may not be the president going around, but this is where he has started with this exercise. And as I speak with you now, the president is addressing the people, telling them the reason why they deemed it necessary to make this promise in the first place, and how committed his government is to make sure that it comes to fruition. He's told them that 50 places have already been selected. And as you can hear in the background right now, people giving him some applause because he's just saying that Odupon Kwakpo, which is where we are right now, is the first town that responded to their call for land allocation to start this whole project.
How many units of classroom block is Odupon likely to get?
That has not been outlined yet as we speak. And as I mentioned earlier on, we're told that this is an inspection project. That land, we've been to the land, and it is a very big landscape. We are told that it is not going to just contain the school building, but also going to contain a courthouse, a police station, a health center, and a district office.
Many thanks, Gifty, for that update. Gifty Ando Apia joined us from Odupon Kofanko, where the president is inspecting a land space intended for a classroom block. We move on to check on news from elsewhere. The International Criminal Court has told Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto he must attend most of his trial on charges of crimes against humanity. Prosecutors had appealed against an earlier decision which would have let him suspend most of his time in Kenya. While he must appear at most of his trial, the court ruled he can be excused on a case-by-case basis. Ruto's lawyers argued he was needed in Kenya after the attack by Islamist militants on the Westgate Center. He denies responsibility for post-election violence in 2007 and 2008. An estimated 1,200 people were killed in the ethnic bloodshed and about 600,000 fled their homes. His lawyers again argue that justice could be met in his absence. At least 67 people were killed when militants believed to be from the Somali Al-Shabaab group stormed the shopping center last month. An Al-Shabaab commander who was target of a recent abortive U.S. Special Forces raid in Somalia has spent time in the UK. Abukadir Muhammad Abukadir, also known as Ikrima, has been linked to alleged terror plus in Kenya. Friends have searched that he came to the UK in 2007 and spent time in London before moving to Somalia the following year. U.S. Navy SEALs failed in an attempt to capture him on October 5. The raid followed an attack on the Westgate Shopping Center in Nairobi, Kenya on 21st September that lasted 4 days and left 67 people dead. Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for the siege. Pirates on Thursday seized 2 U.S. sailors from an oil supply ship off the coast of Nigeria. The captain and chief engineer of the U.S. flagged Sea Retriever were taken on Wednesday by armed men who stormed the boat. Efforts have been underway since to secure the rescue. The International Maritime Bureau has recorded more than 40 attacks in the year with 132 crew taken hostage. The gangs usually target the oil vessels to steal the cargo. That's it. You're welcome back to News Today. Let's do some showbiz. And Nollywood actor Yemi Black is known for his dexterity on the silver screens, but taking on different personalities is just a part of who he is. In an interview with Showbiz, the actor let us in to his passion for music and says he has a rap song coming out shortly.
Yemi Black is one Nollywood actor who probably moves in and out of Ghana several times in a year than his other colleagues. Having starred in numerous Ghanaian productions such as Sinking Sands and lately The #1 Fan, a production by Juliet Ibrahim, Yemi says aside acting, he is a songwriter and a poet. And as if to prove his knowledge of music, particularly music brewed in the Ghanaian port, he walks me through his taste for music.
I love Caucus, I love Kwabena. I love Reggie Rockstone from way back in the day. I mean, that's just a godfather right there. I love this my girl. Unfortunately, there's a new girl that I heard the last time. She does rubber dub, like dance hall music. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's beautiful right there. You know, so those are the assortment of people that I listen to and that I really catch the music, you know, from soul to, and then D Black, you know what I mean? I think Inspector Crime or Dr. Crime, D Crime, yeah, Dr. Crime, you know what I mean? So those are the guys that I listen to, and that's the future of Ghanaian music right there. There's another dude, he wears a lot of Ankara print trousers. He's a rapper as well. Yeah, that guy is really, really deep.
Any rapper who in Yemi's view is deep enough will definitely catch his attention. But as he samples the rappers, he says his own rap single will be out before the close of the year.
Whatever genre of music that I express, it has to be the tops. But mentioning that, I want to come out with a rap track before the end of this year. It's going to be 3 minutes, no chorus, punchline after punchline.
Now, every actor has at least one favorite character in whose shoes he's dying to walk. Here are Yemi's top 2.
I'd like to play Chaka the Zulu for his feet and his acclaim and his fearsomeness. And I'm a Yoruba man from Nigeria, and we have some strong figures. I would also like to play the role of Ogunlaka Yoshimole, who also is a war god at the time. It would just be nice to be able to experience that gore at the level at which they experienced it.
Yemi Black, in case you're wondering, is in town for the premiere of the #1 Fan movie.
For the Ghana police, breaking news is
Nigerian music act Inyanya, who is also known for his love affair with sultry Ghanaian actress Yvonne Nelson, seems to be a fan of women's waist. Well, at least most of his songs talk about women and the waist. And he doesn't deny it either. We caught up with Inyanya for a chat.
Maybe I like it so much, but that's by the way. I mean, it's not all my songs, you know, but yeah, the ones I drop, like singles, yeah. Because, man, the world, you know, these days, people just want to dance, and if you make the ladies love your song, man, if the ladies love your song, you're good to go. All I want is your wish. It's just me saying, you know, do you have a picture of what you look like when you pass me by? That's the whole idea, man. So I'm telling somebody to see, oh, she just passed me by, see what she looks like. Because anywhere in the world, when you hear a song that's from Ghana, you don't need anybody to tell you this is a Ghanaian, you know. So it's unique, it's beautiful too. It's everywhere, you know. Like I just came through now and I heard a song by what's his name, Bisa, the guy that did Azonto Ghost. I just heard the song and I love it already. So there's melody, they still make music, so it's great. Your wish, all I want is your wish.
Away from women and waste, Ghanaian actress Juliet Ibrahim is out with her own movie. The movie titled The #1 Fan, according to the actress and producer, is a must-see.
The Ghanaian movie industry is receiving massive growth, looking at the pace at which young talents are investing in movies these days. A number of actors and actresses have started producing their own movies, and the latest is Juliet Ibrahim. Juliet has starred in a number of movies, including Foreplay Reloaded and a host of others. Now, she says it is about time she took up an extra role that she can retire to eventually when she goes off the silver screens.
To give back to society, let me help those young ones out there who need to be out on the screen and then produce quality movies, also be able to show off what Ghana has here, like cultural-wise, tourism-wise, out to the whole world. And that's where Jewels Productions came in.
She also talks about what inspired her to do the #1 fan.
Because when I travel, Caribbeans, whites, they meet me and they know me at the airport. So they are the kind of people I want to watch the movie and look back and I'm like, oh wow, I think I have to go and live in Ghana because Ghana is beautiful. So the movie is mostly portraying the beautiful side of Ghana, the celebrities we have here, what goes on in Ghana, you know, the quality of real estate and everything.
So set to premiere her very first produced movie, Juliet joins the list of actors and actresses who have turned producers, which includes the two Yvonnes, Edinate, Bibi Bright, and a host of them. Meanwhile, Juliet is still working on her 2 other movies, which are yet to hit our screens next year.
That's my annoying neighbor who seems to be everywhere I go these days.
Our headlines again. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament adopts innovative means to ensure public institutions are accountable. International Criminal Court tells Kenya's deputy president he must attend most of his trial on charges of crimes against humanity. And I am Kimini Nyamani Amano. This morning is on My Jaw Online. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.